Hello fellas, I hope you're keeping well. Thank you for joining me. If we've not met before, my name is Mark. Welcome to Friendship Shaving. I have a lot to talk about today, and as I shave I'm going to be concentrating on a question that was asked of me last week. It was regarding the tabs on a razor blade and how they sometimes stick out from the head of a safety razor, particularly on a vintage razor. So we'll come to that question shortly, and also today I have a giveaway winner announcement. I've got some shaving news that is quite exciting and I'd like to share that with you, and I'd like to say thank you to somebody, and I'd like to let you know what I've been up to recently. And we'll cover those at the end of the shave, I think. So today I have got my birth date Gillette Slim adjustable razor. This was a very kind gift from Chris Spencer over at Backroads Gold, and you can see Chris has beautifully replated this. It has a bright chrome head and a rhodium handle and have the razor blade in it, and the tabs are indeed sticking out from this vintage razor. The razor blade I'm using is an Indian blade called Winner. And today I'm using a sample of soap that was sent to me a little while ago by Michael. Thank you, sir. And this is a grooming department soap called Soap. And I have some lathered up in my lather master bowl from the Byron shaving company. And you can check out the link in the description of this video. I've got some on a new little brush, a vintage Mohawk, quite a small brush, and I have restored this myself and put a knot in it. It's got a lovely vintage cream colour handle with that nice red ferrule. It looks superb. And I've got a Maggard's G5 synthetic knot in it. Now this soap, as I put it on my face, is very clean smelling. It reminds me very much of washing powder for your laundry. It sometimes when I smell it in the tub, I can get a little bit of a sort of fougere scent, but as soon as I lather it in the bowl and put it on my face, I'm getting a real scent of a flowery washing powder. Now the soap itself from the grooming department is excellent quality, but in all honesty I'm really not sure about this scent. I've been trying to find out a little bit more about the soap, but it is, I believe, a seasonal offering, and I can't find it for sale on any websites at the moment. It is, I believe, a vegan soap. And from other videos I've learned that there are no essential oils in the soap that directly relate to scent, and there are no fragrance oils in the soap. But it does remind me very strongly of powdery, floury laundry detergent. I'm not sure about it, to be honest with you guys. It's maybe not my thing. Now, the question today, I was asked by a gentleman who is looking forward to shaving with a vintage Gillette Slim, but is a little concerned about the blade tabs sticking out at either side. They stick out, a millimetre, maybe a little bit more, so not a drastic amount, but I can understand that someone might be worried about these coming to shaving with a safety razor for the first time, and especially if you're coming from using a cartridge razor where the blade is entirely enclosed in its plastic head. So I feel this was a great question. The question itself was, can I cut the tabs off with a pair of scissors? Well, you could cut the tabs off with a pair of scissors, but I feel that they contribute to the overall strength and rigidity of the razor blade itself. So I wouldn't recommend that unless you're particularly trying to fit a blade into a vintage razor that once took a proprietary blade and you need to adapt the blade to get it to fit the razor. But for a razor like this, which takes a standard blade, I wouldn't recommend it. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. I just want to give you a little bit of history first, because the razor blade hasn't always looked the way it looks today. I'll just take this one out of my razor. There we are. You can see I'm holding it by the tabs. And they were indeed originally meant to help you pick the razor blade up without touching the sharpened edges. But the first razor blade that was produced by Gillette to go with their new double-edged safety razor in 1904 was a little bit different to this one. It was a thicker blade and it had 3 holes in it designed to fit over posts in the razor. The edges of the blade, instead of having those square cut tabs, they had a gentle curve on either end of the razor. So the razor blade, on either end of the razor blade, which still stuck out beyond the razor's head and allowed you to pick the blade from the razor, as I've just said. But the new design, the design as we know it today, didn't come in until about 1930. So we've had this design for about 94 years. And I would say that most people don't find those blade tabs to be an issue. Perhaps if you are head shaving you might occasionally catch yourself with the tabs, especially around the back of the neck and behind your ears, as you can't really see what you're doing. I'm blessed with a head full of hair, so I have no experience of that. But I would say that for most fellas, it's probably not an issue. I can think of once, maybe twice, when I have nicked myself with the tab of a blade. Certainly not any more than that. I did have some Dorco blades a while back that weren't finished properly in the factory, and there was a little spur of metal on the tab. Now that was sharp and that would cut you, and I in the end threw the pack away. But that aside, all my blades have been very good. I was looking at this razor blade the other day, this winner blade from India, and there is a little bit of a sharp point on one of the edges, and it's that one there. Found it. Just as a sort of test for myself, I really pressed my finger on and drew my finger back 4 or 5 times over that sharp edge. It did slice my skin on the surface, but it didn't draw blood. I wanted to see really how sharp that was. I must admit, normally I pop the blade in and I don't even think about it. I did read something online the other day, and a gentleman said, well, I never really gave it a thought until I nicked myself. And I think if I were to give some advice, it would just be to be aware while you are shaving, which is one of the reasons I don't shave in the mornings, because I'm certainly not aware in the morning. I think so long as you're relatively careful around your earlobes and around your nose, and so long as you don't drive that edge of the razor that's up into the nostril there, I really can't see that there's a problem, especially if you stretch your top lip downwards to help get in and come from the side. My advice to the gentleman that asked the question would be to pop a blade in, have a shave, go nice and slowly, just be a little bit of aware, as you shave around those sensitive areas. I don't think there'll be a problem. Now, of course, there are more modern razors that have been designed to cover those blade tabs. Usually they have a head that is a little bit bulkier and a little bit longer, possibly the mature future would have the biggest, chunkiest head. But generally, even if you do have a slightly larger head, we're only talking small amounts. It's not a problem to get in and around the top of your nose there. So if it was a choice of using a lovely Gillette Slim adjustable razor and leaving the tabs on rather than cutting them off, I would go with that, and I think you won't have a problem at all. It's an interesting design. I sometimes think that the ends of the razor blades on the old blades with the curved edges, they were the same dimensions as these slightly differently designed blades. But I think they proved less of a problem, and especially because it was a thicker piece of steel. After the blade design was changed, Gillette worked towards getting as a thinner blade as possible. Now, gentlemen, this knot that I'm using, this Maggard's G5, is very nice to look at dry. It looks like a silver tip badger style of knot. Of course, this one is synthetic. It is a bulb design, so there's a little bit of backbone now, a little bit more backbone than if it were a fan shape. Do you know what? It's very, very nice, super soft on the tip, so it really works for painting the soap across the face. Oh yeah, it really works for that. It's super soft, but should you spray the brush, there's just enough backbone there to give a little bit of scrubbiness. I prefer, with a bulb shaped knot, to paint the soap across my face, but that is a very nice knot. I shall rinse this little brush and show it to you in a moment. Now, we have a giveaway winner to announce. Very pleased to announce that the winner of, I have it here, is Rockwell 2C in a gunmetal colour, is the Shaving Fox, a gentleman called Paul, who has his own videos, his own video channel, I should say. So Paul, well done sir, congratulations. I will put my email address in the description to this video, and you can get in touch with me and I will get that out to you. And I would just like to say thank you very, very much to a gentleman called Dragos, who every now and again, when I have a giveaway, pops a little bit of money into my PayPal account to help out with the postage. Thank you, sir. That is really, really kind of you, and you know, it really helps out if I'm posting something to America, for example. That little extra bit of money certainly does contribute to the costs. Very, very kind gentleman indeed. Thank you very much, sir. Now, on the third pass now. I've got my razor on setting 5 and I've kept it at that throughout this shave. I have 3 Gillette Slim adjustable razors. I have this one, my birthday razor. As I said, it was a gift and very beautifully restored by Chris at Backroads Gold. I have a gold Aristocrat Gillette Slim, and both this razor and the gold Aristocrat are in beautiful cases. I have my Uncle Morris's Gillette Slim in its original finish. Still looks very, very good, still shaves beautifully, you know, all these years on. There we are, just going up by my nostril there, you can see there's no real problem. Just be a bit careful up there. You do get used to those tabs being there very quickly. Or I did. It was never really an issue for me, so that's all I can say really. Perhaps you guys have a different experience. It'd be nice to hear if they bother you or not in the comments. There we are, quick rinse of my face. Beautiful slickness on this grooming department soap. It is really just the scent as I'm putting it on that troubles me a little bit. Now I have some shaving news to share with you, and this is good news indeed. You will be aware perhaps that Above the Tie had to close their doors recently after 12 years of being in business. Mariah and Matt from Above the Tie, they produced some beautiful razors. I've got a couple here. Very sad to see them have to close their doors, but Shane from Blackland Razors has taken Above the Tie on, and they will be part of the Blackland crew, if you like, and they will be producing new razors, it is planned, in 2024. So that's a good bit of news, because yeah, I was definitely sad to see Mariah and Matt close their doors, but great that their brand is continuing. That's wonderful news. Now guys, I've been busy. I'm just going to slap on a bit of aftershave, drop a skin bracer today. Fabulous stuff, this really is. Now I've been busy in the outhouse with some vintage brushes. I have some of them here. I've re-knotted some. So I've got my lovely certified brush. Now that had an original knotting that was quite worn and a bit thin, and I've popped in a faux horsehair knot. That came from Maggot's, 22mm. I'd had it knocking around for ages. Wasn't sure which brush to put it in, and finally I thought, you know what, I'm going to get rid of that old knot, and got a little white O-ring from PAA. It's the only place I know that sells them, but I think that looks beautiful. Red ferrule, white writing, white ring with its polished wooden handle. Beautiful. So been doing that one, and I like this one. I managed to get hold of a vintage double duck brush. There we are again, that very popular colour back in the day of the cream handle, the red ferrule, white writing. Absolutely beautiful. This restored beautifully. There wasn't a lot wrong with it, to be honest, guys, and I've put in again another Maggard knot. I can't remember what this one was called, but it's a Plissoft type knot, just a very nice knot that kind of matches the colour, slightly yellowy tint to match the handle, very a creamy tint to it. Beautiful, very pleased with that one. And I have two rubber set 400 handles. You know, I bought this knot. It's a 24mm tuxedo. And I think the tuxedo knot in the polished aluminium rubber set 400 handle is the best that I've seen. I've yet to glue that in, and on my other rubber set 400, which is also a number 3, I've got two number 3s. I bought the cashmere knot, this lovely I bought them both from PAA. Can't remember what PAA call this one, but it is essentially the cashmere knot, and that will fit in there. The ferrule has a lip at the top, which it's very tight when you get it in there. There's not a lot of space there, but once it's in, there's an extra couple of mil on the inside, so I have to have a play around with that. And as there is no plate in this ferrule on which to sit the knot, I'm not going to use epoxy resin, I'm going to use silicone, but I've got to find some way to put the silicone in and hold the knot in the right position that I want it. Something for me to play around with, and just give this one a quick rinse. There we are, as I've already said, my little Mohawk, to match the Mohawk I've got, which is a little bit bigger. There we are, there's my other Mohawk. Beautiful, beautiful brushes. That's what I've been up to, guys. Now, I think that has covered everything. I hope that you won't be worried about using a safety razor and a safety razor blade if you are new to them. Guys, give it a go. You're not going to cut your earlobe off or anything like that, because they're not honed. They're just a cut piece of metal. You know, they do take care generally to make sure that the corners are not going to rip bits out of you. But if you're thinking about it, you're looking at a vintage razor, I recommend giving it a go, because this slim adjustable is one of the best razors you will ever shave with. That is my shave for today. I hope you've enjoyed this little chat as well. Congratulations to Paul, the shaving fox. Get in touch with me. I'll see you all soon. There'll be another giveaway in the next video. Take care now. All the best.